just a good old boy.
Alright, y'all. I've been spraying today. Come back, I had a little bit extra left, so I'm spraying these little lots here next to the barn that we haven't sprayed yet. Is something I've been doing. It's what I'm trying to do right now. I've also been working on some equipment and stuff. We'll go over that in a minute. But I kind of want to talk a little bit about some big stuff that's going on in the ag world right now. Two things is there's two major lawsuits now against the four big packers here in the U.S. for beef. One is by the consumers for price fixing. The other is by producers for price fixing. So that's a huge deal going on right now. I don't know what's going to come of that. It's not going to be anything anytime soon. As y'all know, with lawsuits, I mean, ain't no telling how long they go, especially major lawsuits. But it's nice to see that there is something actually starting to be done about the monopoly that beef packers have had here in the United States now for a while. I mean, there's no question that they have a monopoly. There's only four of them, and now they have evidence that they've been purposely fixing and driving prices down on markets. I know one thing that they've got them doing is they were buying cattle from foreign countries, paying to have it shipped here to purposely drive down the markets here in the U.S. Even further. And then they were also, when they sold to the grocery stores, were selling at rates that were, when we were 45% markets higher than they are now on the producer side. So the consumers are not very happy either right now, and they have a legitimate case, and so does the cattle producers. So who knows what's going to happen there. The other thing that's major that's going on that's not probably going to help any ag markets is the tariffs now with China. They haven't been put in place. They're supposed to meet with the Chinese on Thursday. If they do not, it was originally supposed to be, from my understanding, the day that they were going to sign the deal between China and the U.S. And the Chinese had previously agreed to sign a deal with arrangements on it, and now they are basically running backwards and doing things that they shouldn't be doing. And our president has decided that slapping 40% tariffs on them might get their attention, or threatening to. He hasn't done it yet. Which, when you're negotiating a deal, you've got to have some kind of leverage on the people that you're negotiating against. So, and that's just part of negotiations. The Chinese play hardball, and the only way you're going to get the Chinese to agree to work with you or give you a fair deal is to hold their feet to the fire just as much as they do yours. And that's what I think the president's trying to do. If the Chinese don't go along with it and we can't make a deal, well, in the short term, is it going to be a negative impact? Well, that remains to be seen. The last tariffs, I mean, honestly, as bad as they were in short term, I mean, the economy is turned around and booming now, so, I mean, who knows? Unfortunately, the people on the ag side of the stick always seem to be the ones that gets the short end of it. I don't know, we'll just have to wait and see. The Chinese just need to play, or just be fair. I mean, it's ridiculous what we've gotten ourselves into. We should have never been in this position to begin with. That's one thing that really ticks me off. You can say what you want to about whoever's president or whatever. I don't really care. But our politicians should have never allowed us to get in the position we are in right now. That should have never happened. It's a product of them selling us out for paychecks. That's basically what it all boiled down to, and selling off mess we're in now. I mean, we can all argue about how to get out of it or whatever, but it's a mess, and now we've got to try to fix it. I think the president's trying, which is a nice improvement from what we have had in the last several years that sold us out on both sides of the aisle. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see how it all turns out. But I've got some other stuff to show y'all too today that I want to talk about, that I've been working on, and just vent a little bit about that, I guess, too. This is what I was wanting to show y'all that I've had going on. I'm trying to get this thing ready to use more in the field this year. Previous years we hadn't really used this old Deutz a whole lot in the field because, well, I'll show you. I got a pile of junk here I got to put up. We didn't have the center bar for it. When we bought the tractor, it didn't come with one. I finally found a Massey Ferguson one that would actually fit it. It was too long, so we cut it off and bored a new hole in it. And nothing heavy is behind this thing, just one of the fluffers or tethers, whatever you want to call it, or maybe if we needed it, a wheel rake. But then that's it. That's all we ever really are going to do with this thing, because it's not that big of a tractor. But what we've been doing to it is, one, the kill cable was so hard to pull right here to cut it off that you literally had to jerk it hard. It had gotten a lot of, you had to jerk it hard. It had gotten a lot of condensation and rust down in there in the cable, and it got to where it wouldn't work right. Even though it sits inside all day, I guess, from all these wet days we've had it. But I was going to get a new one. Called Deutz. Got a about nearly had a heart attack over a cable. Was $188. Then I also, while I was doing it, is these have a tachometer cable. It's like this. The way these work is they'll run off the front of the engine right here, down here. I don't know if y'all can see it. This is where it goes in on the block. They'll turn so fast, the cable will, and that's what turns your gauge that's up here on some of these older tractors. The newer ones are all electronic and everything, but on this one here, it actually had the cable. $198 for the cable. So we're not getting a cable or a choke cable. What I actually did was I went out, and I've never liked doing this because it always causes more trouble because it gets trash and stuff down in the cable and issues. But I actually found through Liquid Wrench cable lube that's made for throttle cables and stuff, and I put it on it, and I don't know how long it's gonna last or if it'll get trashed down and out in these fields of dust, but it's super easy now to pull and work. It took me a while. I really had to lube it up good for a long time and keep working at it, and finally got it now to where it works like it should. I don't know if it's going to be a permanent fix, but I hope I ain't got to pay $180 something for a stupid cable, because that's all it is. It's literally a cable, just a regular cable. I can get one from Tractor Supply, which I already bought it. I'm probably gonna take it back, which I did. I was gonna have to modify it to get it to work because this is a little different, for 12 bucks. But through Deutz, it was $189. Not the exact same style. I was gonna have to modify it to get it to work, but I actually got this one working pretty good, so I'm gonna take it back, and that's plan B if that doesn't work out. Also been putting so I'm gonna put a belt on it and whatnot. So that's what I've been doing with this thing. I gotta get a little flicker thing. We always keep this thing in the dry, so it never mattered. But I got to get a little flicker thing in case we was to want to leave it in the field overnight for some reason, so that way rain can't get in the exhaust. Another thing I've been dealing with, I hope y'all can hear me because I got the tractor running, is I've been trying to get rid of these flat face couplers and convert them to the Pioneer style with the balls, because, well, if you're new to the channel and you don't know, last year I had an ungodly amount of trouble with those couplers. We take the loaders off because a lot of reasons when we're in the field. Not getting into that right now, but there's a lot of reasons why we do it, and I don't like them on the tractor, so we take them off when we're not using them. Well, we got a 931 loader. Love the loader. Excellent loader. Have no complaints of the loader other than these couplers. The third function has Pioneer. The back ports on the tractor have Pioneer. The loader hookups on the side though are not. They're flat face couplers. I hate flat face couplers. Every skid steer we have, I've taken them off and replaced them with Pioneer, because the reason why is the flat face couplers get pressure on them and you cannot hook hydraulic hoses up to them. They are a pain in the rear end. I hate them. So I'm trying to get rid of them on this tractor, because every time I hook it up, I can't, no matter how you set the loader up, no matter how you cut the valves off on the hydraulic lines, no matter if you lock the valve in the tractor to make sure it doesn't get bumped, or whatever you do, they still get pressure on them, and you cannot get them to hook up. I've stood on top of the tire shoving down trying to hook them up. They won't hook up. So what I'm trying to do is replace those to these, because I like these, and they just work better. These work better. They're easier. The other one, I have a Quickie Q40, which is the same loader as this 931 that's painted Massey Ferguson. I know overseas they call them something else besides a Quickie, but here in the US they're called Quickie loaders. So that's what I'm doing, is I'm trying to get these converted, because the ones that's on it have these and they work perfectly. So every time though I go to hook them up, I wind up and have to take a screwdriver, tap the end of the flat face couplers to get the pressure off. The whole tractor gets covered in hydraulic fluid, including me. I've soaked my shirts several times last year doing this, and I hate it. It's the only thing I hate about the tractor. I love everything about the tractor except for this one thing. There's some things that I might say they could change to make it a little bit better, which I'm planning on doing a review on this tractor soon, with the amount of hours it has on it now. It's kind of an update with it now that we've had it a year, but the only thing I hate about it is those couplers. Overseas, that's what they use. So they try to, these companies like whoever builds that loader, whether it's Quickie or whoever else is somebody's told me 100 times, and I always forget the stupid name, because here in the US they're called Quickies. But whoever's building the thing, they use whatever is more known in their country on their stuff, and overseas the flat face style seems to be dominant over the Pioneer style. I don't know why, because the flat face style is junk when it comes to trying to hook them up. They don't leak, but they're junk as far as hooking them up. I don't care what machine they're on. I've had several with them on it. I hate the things. They're awful. They need to throw those things away, get rid of them, and design better Pioneer style couplers, because they work better, that won't leak. That's all they need to do. So thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, subscribe. I've vented my frustrations, but I love this thing. This is one of our favorite tractors now on the farm. I kind of wish in one way we would have kept the 4610, and we could have bought a used low hour 5612 at that time, which I didn't know, for the same money as we did that, and then I could have had it and the 5400, and I would have had a bale tractor then, bigger than the 5400 is, and it would have worked out better. We do not regret the purchase of that tractor, as far as the standpoint of how well it's holding up and the way it performs, but as far as it would have worked out better for us if we'd have went that route as far as for the farm itself. In perfect world, I wish we could get rid of the McCormick and just get a 5612 or 6700 series tractor to replace it, because none of us want that tractor here. We all want to see it go by, but the problem is resale value on it is terrible. So we can't get rid of it. We have to keep it and keep repairing it. So yeah, my thoughts are on those tractors is negative. That's what I think about it, because
as soon as we can afford to replace the thing, it's leaving. That's kind of the where that thing sits. Somebody asked me about it the other day. We hate the thing. My dad doesn't even like it anymore. I've got my fingers crossed that it holds together. That's all I can say about it. See y'all next time.